What is up, everybody? It is your boy Sneaky. Welcome to the channel. This will be my first video ever, and today we're going to be going over the Elegoo Mars 3 Pro, their newest 4K printer to come out. We're going to be going over the specs, what comes in the box, a few of the test prints that I've done so far, a comparison print, and then my final thoughts, and also some settings near the end for those that are interested, what's recommended, and then of course my personal settings of what I use. And let's get right into the video. First thing we'll be going over are the specs. That's the main things that you'll be looking for and whether you should upgrade or not. So overall, it's rocking a 6.6 inch 4K monochrome LCD screen. It's got a 4098 by 2560 resolution. That's 30% higher compared to the 2K screen of the Mars 2. It also has a replaceable 9H rated hardness anti-scratch tempered glass, which will give you overall better light transmittance. Also an upgraded freeform surface COB lens for smoother prints. One of the biggest things is the larger print volume. It's the same exact size as the Mars 3, but it is 37% bigger than the Mars 2 with a 5.6 by 3.5 by 6.8 inch build volume. It has the same typical non-slip hexagon sockets, leveling screws, sandblasted oxide surface build plate for stronger adhesion. It also has the new 2.0 PFA release liner that should help with printing success rate overall. The main two differences between the Mars 3 and the Mars 3 Pro is the newly added tempered glass film. It is going to be replaceable, and overall it will help the UV light transmission rate of the screen compared to the Mars 3. And then also the added air purifier that comes with the box. They had a standalone air purifier before, a carbon filter. This one will be able to plug directly into the bed of the printer itself, as a USB slot separately for it, and it comes with it, and they will also be replaceable. In the box you have your typical tools, spare parts like Allen wrenches, extra screws and whatnot. You get your filters, your clipper, two spatulas, the metal and the plastic one, and then it actually comes with two extra FET films, the new release liner films that they have, so it'll save you a little time before you have to go out and buy separate replacements. Next up, we have our three test prints. These are all miniature style models. That's what this channel will be mainly about, is wargaming, D&D, fantasy type stuff. So if you're interested in that, definitely stay tuned for future videos. The first print that I did were the Raptor riders from OnePageRules. All of the models that I list today will be linked below the My Manufactory store page if you're interested in buying them. OnePageRules and Artisan Guilds are the two companies we went with today. Absolutely love their models, great work, and I had no issues with the first print. They are three Raptor riders. It took me 3 hours and 48 minutes overall, and these were just factory settings. I didn't change much besides the recommended stuff that they offered when setting up this printer, and I'll show you those settings here later. Next up was the T-Rex, a much bigger model, also from OnePageRules, and this thing came out beautiful. It's absolutely massive. And I also fine-tuned some settings to try to get those faster print times. The overall time for this T-Rex was 5 hours and 59 minutes. I still got to print his rider. I actually might upscale this one a little bit though, but he came out absolutely stunning. Again, no issues. I didn't see any support failures or anything like that. Super fine detail. And then the comparison print that we have for you today is a Goblin from Artisan Guild. He's a Hobgoblin type character, and I printed him about 2 years ago for the first time ever. It's the only model I still have that's unprimed, because I never finished my models and paint them like everybody else. But he's unprimed, and I figured this would be the best way to compare. It took me about 4 hours 24 minutes back then to print him out, and he came out pretty solid. The detail's still there. It's hard to really tell unless you have a magnifying glass, but I was able to print him in a little bit better quality with the Mars 3 Pro in about half the time at 2 hours and 10 minutes. So based off of settings and stuff, I'm sure you can cut those times down, but it's a lot faster with this machine upgraded, and the quality is just there, if not much better in my personal opinion. Also, make sure to wash your models. As you can tell from the old one, a lot of white crud in there. That's from me not washing him thoroughly. I'm using Elegoo water washable ceramic gray for those that are curious for all of these models that are going to be shown. For our next section, we got the settings for the Elegoo Mars 3 Pro. If you're looking to buy one or already have one and don't know where to find the settings, they are in the manual. You gotta do a little bit of digging for them, but I'm gonna lay them all out right here for you, and also my base settings for those that want a starting point if you use water washable resin. But there are links on the Elegoo site that will help you out with setting up your resin settings. But here's what we have so far. So the first settings that we have for the Elegoo Mars 3 Pro are the resolution at 4098 by 2560, giving you that 4K on the XY, and then the size for the build plate itself, or VAT, is here below. Sorry, build plate, not the VAT. It's all based off the build plate. And then for my printing speeds, everything else for the most part is factory settings. But I did adjust my exposure time. I tried lowering it, but I did have a little bit of support failure on some of the models. So 2.5 is nice and safe area. I'm sure you can fine tune it down doing some RERF test prints, but I care about the quality and having successful prints the first time, so I don't mind waiting a little bit extra. The bottom exposure time was a big one that I changed. I dropped it down from the recommended 35 to 12. For your smaller prints, you do not need that much time with how much UV light is pumping through this machine, and you do not want to have to fight getting these small fragile models off of the plate. So I cut it down to 12 seconds. Your retract speeds, you can match them up to 280, and everything else is pretty much factory standard for the most part, but you'll get solid results and fast times with these settings. Y'all feel free to go from there and do what you got to do. The Mars 3 Pro is still available for pre-order, and it is available in European countries currently now, but I ordered mine through Amazon, and if you have Prime, you'll get it ASAP. It's listed for $352 though. If you can't wait, the pre-order should be dropping in June or July, but if you cannot absolutely wait at all, it's running for $350 currently, $352 on Amazon. If you are trying to upgrade from the 2 Pro or older, definitely highly recommended. It's a great entry-level 4K printer, has an overall solid build volume. It's a great upgrade, easier workflow than my Mono X for sure, and perhaps a lot of other printers. Those larger scale printers can be a hassle to deal with because the amount of issues that can happen unless you have super fine-tuned settings are much more expanded. So sometimes having a smaller printer is definitely worth it. I'm glad to have a Mars series back in my lineup. Definitely easier for setup purposes, and it has a lot less failures from my experiences, and it just works overall. It's just absolute great product. Definitely recommend it. If you have a 3, might want to hold off. If you're trying to save a buck or two, might wait for the 3 to drop in price, which it probably already has. And if you're interested in any future content, like I said, this will be all about 3D printing, Warhammer proxies, D&D, stuff like that. I'm always trying to print something out and get my models flowing and going. But appreciate y'all tuning in, and I'll catch y'all next time. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please drop a like, hit subscribe. It's the first video ever here on this channel. Do stream if you're interested in Warzone, Apex, anything like that. But I'm venturing out to my nerdy side, so I'll stay frosty and have a good one.